Hey everybody, it is Molly, Avon Senior Executive Unit Leader, coming at you today from Dover, Delaware. I am up here visiting with my team, and I know that you guys hear me say that a lot. I do a lot of the videos up here because it's kind of private up here, and I get some time to think and talk to myself, you know. Everybody needs to talk to themselves every now and then. It's just when you answer yourself that there are issues, okay? I don't answer myself much, but okay, let's get back to this. So what are we going to talk about today? I haven't done a video in a little while. We've been really busy with the fairs in September, and here we are now. Wow, the end of October is coming. We are in fourth quarter of Avon, and it is so exciting because it's normally the time that we make the most money, and people want to make money, so it gives us a lot of recruits. One of the things that helped me get my S on and become a senior executive with Avon products. So one of the things I thought I would talk about is everybody who is familiar with my group on Facebook, anybody who is an Avon representative or a DSM, anybody like that, you're obviously welcome on the group. As long as you're not a whiner, because if you're a whiner, we will poof you. Poof! Take my wand and just ban you from the group. So it doesn't happen often, but every now and then. But I watch it when people are asking. And, you know, I've made all kinds of videos, and thank everybody for watching them. But mostly, you know what, when I started doing them, I started doing them for my team, hoping that for everybody who couldn't come to live trainings, that this would really help them get a grip on their business and things that could help them. So, you know, when I did the thing about, the one about getting Avon customers, and that one seems to have really helped. And I touched on a lot of everything about when I started my business and how I got customers, because I didn't have very many, but I had 2 full-time jobs and was trying to build an Avon business at least for a few months at the time, I thought. And we talked about a lot of different things when I did that video initially. But there's one thing that everybody has a million different questions about, and that is tossing brochures. I always hear, what's tossing? And then it is such a big subject, you know. Oh my God, tossing doesn't work for me. Or how about, oh my gosh, it's so unprofessional to toss a brochure in the driveway. Or how about, oh, I don't want to do that because somebody might yell at me. Or, hey, in some areas, righteously, some people, they live in these weird developments and cities and townships where, you know, they get threatened with fines or whatever. And look, and if that's your situation, I'm sorry, but for a lot of us around the nation, that's not a situation. And tossing brochures is exactly what it sounds like. Taking a brochure, putting it in a clear literature bag, and tossing it in the driveway. Some people choose to walk brochures, but when I started my business, the only time that I could toss brochures and use my time wisely, because I was a single mom and raising 2 boys on my own, and my second job was delivering newspapers for the local newspaper. So I had to use the nighttime hours. And although I would much rather talk to somebody face to face where I can get their information and things like that, that didn't always work for me, because when I was in my office working, I was in my office working at my main job. So when I was out at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, if I was knocking on people's doors, they weren't going to be too happy about that. So tossing, you know, my upline, Marianne and Ray Penn, did that, and they said, you know, Molly, you know, grab, you know, order books, and, you know, the more you get, the cheaper they are, and, you know, invest some of the money you make back into your business. And that's what I did. But what I want to explain to you in today's video is, what happens is, you guys watch me and you follow me on Facebook, and that's great. But you'll see me make these posts that say that, you know, I just got done tossing 1,400 brochures or 2,500 brochures, or I think the most I've ever tossed in a day is like 3,200, something like that. And so everybody thinks that, like, I go out there every campaign and I buy 3,200 brochures. No, I don't, guys. I don't do that. And I am not, you know, people say, oh, well, if that's what it takes to be successful, then I guess I'm not going to be. So you immediately get your panties in a wad and you decide, well, that couldn't work for me because I can't get it. No, you're wrong. Let me take you back. Okay, so what is tossing? First of all, definition again. We are going to take a brochure, and we are going to take a brochure that looks like maybe, let's see here. Take a brochure that looks like this one. This is a Campaign 23 brochure, okay? And this has got a recruiting flyer in here, and this is my recruiting flyer for everybody who follows me. You know that this is in the files on the Onward group. If you are an Avon representative and you are finding this, then you are going to be able to join the Onward No Matter What group. That's what it's called, and you should be able to see a link right now that's on there for the Facebook group. You just have to be an Avon rep, and when you ask to join, make sure that you have something on your page that says you're an Avon representative or gives me a hint, or you better private message me with your E-Rep address to let me know that you have, asked to be part of the group, because if you're not, if it's nothing showing, you're not getting in the group. But these files, for this recruiting flyer in particular, and this is a newer one I just did, and everybody knows I'm pretty popular for the 6 good reasons of why you should join my team, but this one is 7 real reasons that you need to join Avon. And this is like your credit cards are maxed out. Christmas is coming. This is a seasonal one. This can be changed though. The electric bill is late. Your kids want to dance or play sports. Gas prices keep rising. You hate your job. And number 7, only $10 to start your Avon business. Okay, so this is something to let them know, hey, this is a great reason. 6 good reasons are more like you don't have to have parties, there's no quotas, $50 minimum order will get you a discount, that kind of a thing. But all these things are on there. So I never give out a brochure without a recruiting flyer, because you never know if there is a potential representative right in front of you. You are always going to find customers. People who tell me they can't find customers, I'm like, what are you living in a cave? What is going on? What do you mean you can't find customers? Everybody knows Avon, and everybody loves Avon. And most people who don't haven't seen an Avon brochure lately. So one of the ways to get your name and the Avon brochure out there is by something that we call tossing, okay? So I'll take a book. This is, the clear literature bag with Avon, and, when it's not how it is now, this is what it looks like. Some people put, small orders in these or whatever, but in this case, this one's done a couple of different ways, okay? But it's taking this, and, sometimes I'll do it with my team, but I hear people who say, well, I don't have a team, or I don't have somebody who'll go out with me. Well, you ain't getting off that easy either, because when I started tossing brochures in driveways, I did it all by myself. As many of you that love my husband and my business partner, Lee Bibb, he was not always there. When I started Avon, we weren't married, we were friends, and he lived in Baltimore, and I lived way down where I live in the sticks. And I had to start this out by myself. So that's one of the reasons I went in the evening too, because I could go at night when most everybody was at home, and I could go into neighborhoods and I could toss these in, people's driveways. And it was great. And did I get results every single time? No, I didn't. And do you leave a book somewhere and get a result every time? When you talk to somebody, do you get a result every time? I mean, come on, guys. This is not a miracle thing. This is a business that we're growing, okay? So I take books, and as a newbie, let's take the different steps here, okay? As a newbie, we all know I started out with 10 brochures for each campaign when I started out. And then, of course, I asked my upline later if I could get or buy more books, and they provided me with about 20 more brochures, okay? Those brochures I had to hand people and try to get people that way, because tossing brochures and only 20, it would have taken me a lifetime, right? So, my first order was $53. So for all you people who are definitely outdoing me and doing $150, $180, $300, which most of my team does, kudos to you, because I knew that when I put that first order in and it was $53, oh good God, I knew that I had to get out there and get some customers. And since they introduced me to tossing, and okay, so I'm on here doing YouTube videos now, but guys, I wasn't always this way. You know, Avon has changed my life in so many different ways. And one of them is that I can actually get on YouTube with my big hair, okay, and my S on and my Avon shirt on, and I can tell you how I'm running a successful business. And I would have never done that 9 years ago. Hear me. Never. The first time they wanted me to speak at an Avon event, I thought I was going to puke. Matter of fact, I did puke, okay? Ew. Yeah, I did. So, it's done a lot of things for me. So in the beginning, I really didn't really go, hi, I'm Molly and I'm the Avon representative. Would you like a brochure? You know, I didn't know how to do this. It wasn't my thing. I hadn't done anything like this. I had no experience in direct selling or network marketing or, you know, the only thing I knew about Avon and things like that is one, Avon, I knew I loved it because my mom always loved it and I loved it, and I had an Avon rep for years, which was Mary Ann Penn, my upline. But with all the other people, Tupperware and all them, I went to the parties, man. That's what I did. So I had to figure out a way to get this in people's hands. So when I started looking at what brochures cost, the one thing I figured out is that I had to figure out how to get people to buy from me. And the reason I loved Avon is because I looked at the brochures and I always saw stuff in the brochures that I loved, right? Okay, so I take these and I said, I am going to buy 100 brochures every single campaign. 100 brochures every single campaign. That then was $19. Not too bad. 9.5 years in Avon, and still, you can get 100 brochures for 21 bucks. Avon's done really well with the price. And for all you people who want to piss and moan out there about the fact that we got to buy our brochures, man up, woman up, do whatever you got to do. This is our business, and if we have to buy brochures, consider it an investment, because when you have your own business, feel lucky, because most people who own any type of a business have to put a whole lot more in money into it in order to make a business successful. And I've always felt like this is my store. If I'm not giving this out, if I'm not getting these in people's hands, then you know what? My store is closed. And remember, Tossin is not the only way to get customers. It is one way to help you get customers. And that is what we're zeroing in on this video, okay? So you have the brochure, you have the recruiting flyer. On the back, you will notice, I hope you can see this, that I've got my information here, which of course I use my name. I have an 800 number. You don't have to. I didn't in the beginning, but now I do. My email address, and then I have what's called, it says Express Service Online. Catchy, huh? Express Service Online, and it has my eRep address, okay? And that is what I hope. And sometimes when I'm going further out than I really want to deliver, I will take my number off of there and I will just put Express Service Online and just put my my eRep site is the only thing I'll put on there, and they have to order online. They have no other choice. But most of the time I will use this. And so I was buying 100 brochures in the beginning. So I said that no matter what, I knew I had to sell enough Avon to invest at least $20 a campaign. That's $40 a month, not too bad, into my business, okay? So the first time I did it, the next campaign, I got 100 brochures. I labeled them up. I went out before my paper route one night, and I went, and I thought it would take me like hours to throw 100 brochures, and it took me like 30 minutes. I was like, seriously, 30 minutes? Oh, I wish I'd had the money. I would have gotten 200 or 300, but I didn't have the money. You all know my story. It was tight, and if I was not able, this is what I believe. It's not about being able. I believe whenever you own a business or you're trying to make something big, and why are you doing this if you're not trying to make it big or bigger than what it is now? That I believe that you need to invest part of what you make. I know we're supposed to get demos and stuff like that, and I'm not telling you not to. But if you don't have customers, what are you going to demo? Who are you going to show it to, right? So I invested it into brochures. So like, I didn't even make that $53 order. I didn't even make $20. I think I only made like 16 bucks. But I didn't care. It was $19. I was taking $3 out of something, and I was getting 100 brochures. And I did that for many, many, many campaigns. And matter of fact, the first time I did this, I wasn't sure it was going to work. Truth of the matter is, I really didn't think it was going to work. And where I chose to throw brochures, the only thing I can tell you is when I did this course, there must not have been an Avon rep that went through there in a very long time, because the results that I got for 100 books that night was not typical. It was not normal. But the first time I did it, I got 7 calls the next day. 7 calls and emails, but whatever. 7 new orders, 7 new customers. I was freaking ecstatic. Are you kidding me? 7? So my next order was almost $200, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could do this. I could not wait to order the next 100 brochures. I was ready. I was willing. I got them ready. I was excited. And I went to, again, I don't go back to the same place right away, guys, okay? And some people are going to tell you different. And I'm not telling you not to, and I'm not telling you that my way is the only way. God knows there are many ways to get the results that you want. But for me, I wanted to hit the greatest amount of people in the smallest amount of time. Because see, I didn't have the time, and I mean really didn't have the time. There was no TV time, there was no nothing, because all I was doing was working, taking care of my kids, and doing Avon. So 2 jobs, trying to do some Avon, trying to raise my kids, trying to make ends meet. So the only time I could work my Avon or try to get customers was at night, okay? So I was doing this, so it was 30 extra minutes. I was building my customer base, and I did this. The second time that I did it and I threw brochures, I didn't go down the same streets, but I was in the same area, okay? And the area that I was in was where I was doing my paper route, okay? Because it was easy for me to do it, go from one job to the Avon thing, okay? So when I did it again, I was in the same area, different streets, and I did 100 more houses, okay? And I did it. Now that time I only got 3 customers. But think about this. In a month, 2 weeks and 2 weeks, the span, I got 10 new customers, right? Now, not all those customers ordered every single campaigns, but this I knew. I had to get a brochure in their hands every single campaign. So then what happened was I always made sure that I could get 100 brochures to touch 100 new houses, okay? But I had, look, I had 10 customers. I had 10 customers, and I wanted to make sure that I always had extra brochures with me. It didn't matter to me if I had a lot, but I wanted something. So once I got those customers, I got 100 brochures. That was for my outreach to get new customers. But then I got 20 more brochures. 10 of them were for my customers. Avon normally always sent me 1 extra brochure. I think they still do now in my order. That one was mine, okay? And then 10 more, I made sure that 10, that in my travels, in my everyday life, okay, post office, picking the kids up from school, back and forth to do maybe errands for my job, my main job or whatever. Anywhere I went with my kids, without my kids, it didn't matter. I had these extra Avon brochures. So when I met people face to face, I would say, and then all I had was an Avon pen that Mary Ann had given me. I mean, you guys see now, I always have something Avon on. I actually even have stuff made up myself. I found somebody who does embroidering, and I have my stuff made up myself so that I can wear what I want to wear, but put Avon on it. I'm a true believer in that. Advertise, 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 and it doesn't always mean putting high dollar, because when I didn't have this and I didn't have clothes that said Avon, I wore that Avon pen that Marianne Penn gave me all the time. All the time it said Avon. I didn't care. Bam! And for those of you who say, well, I have no job. I can't wear it. I have another job. Then don't wear it when you have another job. But when your ass walks out of the job, then put that pen on so people know you're selling Avon. Guys, where there's a will, there's a way. So where is your will? How much will do you have? How badly do you want it? You have to use. People go, oh, that's just a little thing. Those little things have made all the difference in the world for my business. This girl is a Rose Circle seller. I sell over $50,000 worth of Avon a year, myself personally. My team did 1.3 million. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Obviously something I'm doing is right, and that I've learned from all the other awesome seniors and executives and top sellers that I associate with in my district, people I've met, watching my upline become successful. I don't just grab this stuff out of the air. I grab this stuff from other people and from trial and error in my business. And I'm telling you that if you do this stuff and stop quitting because it doesn't work one time, don't be a quitter. Quitters go nowhere. Hear me? Quitters go nowhere. Nowhere. You don't try something once and go, oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. How do you know if it's going to work? Are there times that I've gone in and thrown brochures, tossed them, and never gotten anything? Abso-freaking-lutely. Matter of fact, you know that last 1,400 you all read about on my Facebook? Well, I got a couple inquiries, but I haven't gotten anything customer-wise. Now, my EUL was with me with her books, too, and I haven't checked in with her. And I hope to heavens with 1,400 brochures that she got something more than what I got. But see, I have no way of knowing whether a rep had gone into that neighborhood before me, whether there was already a representative taking good care of that neighborhood. But I was going to find out by doing this. But we'll get to that in a minute, because that's where I'm at now. That wasn't in the beginning. This is the beginning we're talking about, okay? So we're going to go out, we're going to toss them. So you have to have a plan. When did you hear me saying this? I decided I was going to do 100 brochures every campaign. I was going to invest $20 or $19 at the time in my business every campaign with brochures. And sometimes that meant that I didn't get anything, okay? But that had nothing to do with the books that I had to get for my customers and that I wanted to pass out hand to hand. And look, saying I want to pass out 10 hand to hand, I don't think that was too much to ask. I really don't. I think that in all the places, I didn't say, let's do an event and I'll hand out 10 brochures. Look, I love events. You all see, I do them all the time. But this is in your everyday life. No matter where you go, you should always be leaving. I mean, I went to Cracker Barrel this morning. Love me some Cracker Barrel. I went to Cracker Barrel this morning, but when I left, she got a book, a recruiting flyer on the table. Thank you for your business. We are looking for people like you. If you ever want to make some extra money and work it around your life, contact me because I like your attitude. Okay? She's a good waitress. It's all good. So, what I'm telling you is you have to be prepared. Most of the reason we don't make the sale is because we're not prepared. Okay? So those brochures that I talked about that were extra, they were in my purse all the time, ready to go. Just like this. See this? Just like this. They were ready to go. If I went into the post office, I always left one there. Okay, we talked about that. Let's get back to Tossin. Okay. Now, sometimes I would, as my business grew and I made unit leader, got into leadership, and then it was really big. Then I wanted to get them recruiting flyers out there. Okay, big. As I got more and I started making more, look, my orders grew. My orders went from $53 to $180 to $300. Before you know it, I had $500-$600 orders. All of this happened within a course of 6 to 8 months. Do you want to know why it happened? Because I was on the money all the time. I always went out once a campaign and threw those brochures. And look, when I had a really good campaign and I knew that I made $120, instead of just $20 reinvesting, I would say, okay, now they say after the first 100, they're only this much afterwards. So then I would say, okay, I'm gonna get 40 more. Let me see what I can do with 40 more. Now, what would happen sometimes is, oh, and by the way, the other thing I didn't tell you, I know I'm jumping, right? Squirrel! Yeah, I know I'm doing that. I don't date. The books that I toss, I do not date. Do not date them. Do not date them ever. Because if for some reason they don't actually open that brochure until that expiration date, you don't want them not calling you. If there's no expiration date, they think that book's still good. Once you get them on the phone, you got them, but you got to get them on the phone. Okay, so don't date your books. I would get more books. And sometimes because of life, and it happens, I tried really hard to stay on task, but every now and then life happens and you can't stay on task. So I would get the books and I would get them ready, but I didn't always get a chance to go out and toss when I would like to. And that is how life is for me now, okay? I'm very busy. 300 plus customers that I have to take care of. A team of 400 that I have to take care of. A little under 400 right now. But anyways, round it off, 400. Team of 400 I have to take care of. And Onward, no matter what group that I love dearly, that I have to, monitor and take care of. I have a family to take care of. I try to have a little bit of a personal life with my husband, so he wants to stay married to me. I have that. We go to church. Look, life happens, it gets busy. I do not, now that I have a 300 plus customer, look, I don't have to go out and toss like that every single campaign. I can if I want to, and I try to. But I also like to slip in those events like tailgating and everything. So a lot of what I do now is hand to hand. Okay, if I'm at tailgating and they're out looking at that, which we'll do a video about that later on, the point is they're going to come up and they're going to see this, and I'm going to be talking to them and getting their information so I can figure out what are their needs. Would they be great in an Avon representative? Do they need something that Avon can help them with? Or are they just going to be great as a customer? Either way, we win. It doesn't matter. As my business got bigger, I would get those books, I would get them ready, or sometimes I would get them ready all at once, whatever happens, but I would keep them and they would be old. Look, we are in campaign 20 going into 23 right now, just finishing out 22. And the books that I just threw, that I just tossed, those books were for campaigns 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now, you want to know what's crazy about that? I get all those books ready, I toss them. People say, but Molly, some of the stuff isn't in there anymore. That's right. They say, but Molly, some of those prices aren't the same anymore. That's right. Who cares? If they're looking to be an Avon customer, if we're taking them a new brochure as soon as they contact us, if we let them know we did this, and people say, Molly, do you put a label on there with a little poem and all? Look, all that stuff is great, and I love the ideas. But when I first started out, I couldn't afford the ink cartridges for anything like that. I couldn't do that. So I just figured if I could get them on the phone with me, then I could say, hey, give me your address. Let me bring you a current brochure. I'm going to get you the best price I can get you on what you want, or try to get this product. If it's still available, I will, but in the meantime, I want to bring you something that's current, because the reason I tossed that in your driveway is because I was looking to find people who were looking for an Avon representative, and I wanted to let them know I was here. So I gave you that book because of that, and some of these things are still available and some of them aren't. But now you've got somebody who's going to make sure you're going to get a brochure every single campaign, no matter what. Most of your people, 98.9, are completely okay with that. So don't stress about something that's not here or something that's not at the right price. Don't stress about that. You will work all that out. The deal is getting you the customer, so you got something to work out, okay? So what happens is, my executives, my unit leaders, all of those, they gather their books that way. They gather them. Sometimes they can't throw them every campaign, or maybe the day they were going to, it rains, whatever it may be, okay? The point is, we want to make sure that they don't throw those books away and they are going to go out and toss them. So most of what we toss is always old books. We don't go out, look, even today, guys, I don't go buy Avon books thousands at a time. I do not. Now, I have done that for events and stuff that we've had coming up, but I don't righteously. I order 700 brochures as a senior. Wait a minute, 700, what is really the number for that? 6, 7, 10, 11. Really, I think it's more like 660 brochures, so let's round it to 700. But I order 11 boxes of brochures a campaign. But remember, 300 of those go to my customers, okay? So they go to them, and even actually that breaks down now, really that breaks down because now I use campaign mailer to mail the books to my faraway customers. But I do like the tailgating now and events, and sometimes my reps need extra books, whatever it may be. So I always have to be prepared because that's my job. I'm a leader. So I order more brochures knowing they're going to be tossed, so it doesn't matter, okay? But in the beginning, you may aspire to be like me or some of the other seniors or executives or the top sellers out there, but we didn't get there by performing how we perform now. We had to bring in the flow to be able to do that. But you cannot use the excuse that you're not going to do anything because you don't have it now. If you're making money, you should be taking some of it. And I don't care if it's not 100. I don't care if it's 40. Okay, I did what I did starting with 100, and that was me, broke-ass Molly. Yeah, I did. But the point is, you can do it with any amount. It may take you a little bit longer. Maybe you only want to get 60 brochures. It's okay, get 60. But if you're not getting anything and you're getting 10 brochures and you think that is what you're going to build a business with, you are wrong. And there is nobody who is doing this business successfully who's going to tell you something else. Unless you're somebody who works in a hospital or something and you've got 68 people right there in the hospital, that's buying from you all the time, that can work. I've seen it work. They are the exception to the rule, okay? But most people have got to get out and gather up their customers. They've got to go out there and they've got to pick them. But you can't pick them unless you plant the seeds. They're not going to be primed for the picking unless you plant those seeds. So, oh yeah, I want it. Next thing you know, they grow into an Avon customer or maybe a possible team member if they need money, okay? So let's talk about, real quick, how do we get this stuff ready, right? So we get all the brochures ready, but how are we? People are like, how do you get them stay in the bag? Well, I got to tell you something. Because I was a tosser for newspapers, for me, when I first started, guys, I would toss them like this. I know you're like, Molly, seriously, they stayed in the bag? Yeah, they really did stay in the bag for me. Because the deal was, the mistake people make is they try to throw them by the top part of this. They try to toss them, they grab them, and they go boom. And as soon as they do that, the book goes flying out the bag. You can't do that, okay? So the rule of one is, you don't throw them by this. You have to grab the book. Grab the book here. Grab onto that book, and when you do, think about a Frisbee. And by the way, quit trying to throw it all the way up the driveway. You want it at the end of the driveway, somewhere near the mailbox, so that they can see that brochure sitting in the driveway. Some people will tell you they throw it right by the mailbox. I don't care where you throw it. Don't throw it in the middle of the yard because they get irritated then. Don't be doing that. But some people say, no, I just stop and put them in the newspaper boxes. There isn't anything wrong with that. There is no right or wrong for this. For me, I got rid of more by tossing them in driveways. And most of the time, because of the time I did it, their papers were in the driveway too. So these were sitting right beside the paper so they could pick them both up. Now, there's a lot of people who different ways. So look, we got that. Then I also have people who, look, they'll take them and they take a little piece of Scotch tape. And if I show you this side, see, they will tape that extra there. Okay, they will do that. And then they will fold over like they're mailing a present. And they will fold down and they will tape here. If you want to use up a bunch of tape, and look, I've done it this way too, especially when I'm trying to put them in my bag so it'll be really neat. Okay, I've done that. So, but, for me, there's another extra way too. And by the way, one of my team members, Brenda Curtis, showed me this. This is not a quick way, but I'm going to show you this because this is fabulous. And when you don't want to use it, you don't want the rain to get to it. let me show you. Now, the other thing I have too, before I show you what Brenda did, the other thing I do too is I do this, okay? And I also have what we call a bag taper, and you can get that from uline.com, uline.com, okay? And it is a bag taper, and it didn't cost a whole lot of money, and you can get the refill of the tapes. I have one of those too, and what happens is I twist the top, and the easiest way to do it is to fold this over the book like this. I twist the top, and you actually take this, and I'm in Delaware, so I don't have the taper with me, sorry, but you put it down, it tapes it kind of like the stuff that goes around a loaf of bread, okay, and it tapes it, and I love that. I have that too, just sometimes that takes a little bit of time too. I got that later on. Matter of fact, I got that about 2 years ago and started using, because I wanted to invest in something that if it happened to rain, make sure that it wouldn't get into that, because then what happens is once it's taped, the bag goes flat again and it's all good. That's out there. Again, no right or wrong way, but let me show you what Brenda does. Brenda is awesome with these. Let me show you. Okay, see? You got your book, and you see my recruiting flyer. It's always tucked in. I just take it and I tuck it into here. Okay, so it's there. So it's actually longer, but I do that so they can see it. And then you take your bag. Okay, you take your bag. Now, instead of it going in this way, we are going to put it in this way. You're like, Molly, no way. It doesn't go in there. I'm here to tell you, yes way it does. If you take this book and you put it in sideways and you bend it just a little bit. Now watch this. Bend it just a little bit. Hold on now. Let me level this out. Bend it just a little bit. And you move that bag around and go down into it. Here we go. Now watch this. Do you see this? Do you see how it's down like that? Now watch. You're going to fold. And you're going to fold again right to the tip of the bag, right? Now guys, if you feel, remember, you put the closed in. I'm going to shove this right into here, right in between the pages. Look at this. Look at this. My new unit leader, Brenda Curtis, not so new now, but you know, she's my newest. I love Brenda Curtis. Brenda showed me how to do this. I sit and do this. This is remarkable. No tape, no U-line taper, no worry about it throwing out. And when you throw this booger, it ain't coming out of nothing, okay? So remember, when you put the book into the bag this way, you want to put it closed in, the binder part, down into the bag. And yes, it takes some working. I'm not telling you it's easy getting it in there, but once you figure out how to do it, it goes a lot quicker. She was right. The more you do, Molly, the quicker it comes. You have that, you fold the top of the bag down, you shove it down into the brochure, see that? And guess what? Ain't no water getting into that booger either, even if it does rain. That is an awesome bag. And when you're only getting 100 at a time and you're doing it and you're tossing that brochure, they're getting it, it looks neat, it looks professional. Nothing's coming out of the book, none of the flyers. Word of caution, do not put samples in here. More of these books are going to be thrown away than people are going to be ordering, okay? Do not waste your samples. Do not waste your outlets. Do not waste your marked catalogs. Quit giving people more stuff to throw away. You are hoping with 100 brochures or more to capture a few customers out of this. If you've got someone who loves Avon and want it, they're going to find something out of these 200 pages to order from you, okay? So your ideas are awesome with thinking, oh, I'll give them more and they'll think I'm great. Let them tell you they're interested first and then show them you're a great representative. Don't waste your money on doing all of that. And for those of you who want to continue walking and hanging them on the door, look, my hat's off to you. If I wore a hat, my hat is off to you. And sometimes I do. You've seen the videos. But my hat is off to you. Because for those who walk the neighborhoods, and look, we walk them too. When it requires apartments and townhouses and things like that, we don't have a choice. We do that. But we in my area we're more of a metropolis that has many upon thousands of neighborhoods. So we are luckier. We can go into a neighborhood. We can toss a brochure. We are talking 600 to 1,000 homes in a neighborhood. And that makes for a lot of tossing sometimes. People ask me, Molly, how did you keep up with it in the early days? How did you know what streets you went down to? When I finished a street one side and up another side, I marked that street down. I got a map book when I eventually could afford to get one. And when I would look, they would be county maps. And when I would go into that neighborhood, I would mark the streets I had been in. I would highlight them with a highlighter, and I knew. And beside that neighborhood, I would put what was the month and the year I had been in there. So I knew how long it had been before I went back. These are not all things you have to do. These are helpful hints that will hopefully get you through. Tossing can be a great thing for helping you get customers. And instead of throwing those old brochures away, this is a way for you to use these so that you will gain new customers, hopefully. I would not recommend going into a development week after week after week again. I would recommend that if you only have 3 or 4 neighborhoods to work with, work your way through all the neighborhoods and then go back and keep working your way through them again. I think a lot of this is all according where you're at, what your territory and your region is. I'm telling you, take all the information you can get from all the seniors. You'll have some who will tell you to go back 2 or 3 times. We had such a vast quantity, there was no need to do that. Oh, I've gone back through many of them over and over and over again in 9 years. But I wanted to touch all the neighborhoods before somebody else got there because, see, I wanted to be the Avon lady. I wanted when people saw me, even before my signs and all were on my car, I wanted them to know that when they saw Molly Stone's bib on that, or at the time Molly Stone, when they saw that on the book, oh yeah, she's the Avon lady in our neighborhood, we know who she is. You want to brand yourself. Never in my life did I think I wanted to be the Avon lady. And now I am so proud of being the Avon lady. Having a team that is in just states, I can't even name them all over the country, and from corner to corner. And know that, you know, these people are out there, they are contributing to their household and to their living to give themselves a better life. That is what it's about. That's why the recruiting flyers, even if you're not 100% sold in leadership, you should be, but if you're not, what's it going to hurt to do a recruiting flyer and put it in here and give somebody the opportunity to change their life? It's changing your life, or it has the opportunity to. And it has definitely changed my life. So give Tossin a try, but don't give it 1 try. Give yourself 6 months. But promise yourself you're going to do it every single campaign. Challenge yourself. If it's not for you, don't do it again. But you're never going to know if you don't give yourself a deadline and have it be reasonable. Because to say you're going to toss twice and if I don't get anything, I'm not doing it anymore, that's ridiculous. Because I bet when you were learning how to ride a bike, I bet you fell more than 1 or 2 times, didn't you? I know I did, many times. I still have the scars to prove it. So, helpful thoughts on tossing brochures, okay? I hope this has helped you. I hope it helps to explain a little bit all the questions that I get on Facebook about it. Use it to your ability and let it help you build your business. Let it help you show you what you can do. And by the way, if you got kids, they love doing this with you. They think it's awesome. My kids, when they were younger, used to love to go out tossing with me. My youngest would go out with me till 3 in the morning on the weekend because he thought it was cool to be out till 3 in the morning. And he would toss and I would drive. And boy, did I love those days when I didn't have to do both. I wish you well with this tip, Tossing 101 with Molly. I will be back soon with another video and we will take up something else. Until then, don't forget, if you're a Facebook junkie or even somebody who gets on from time to time, if you're an Avon representative, feel free to look for our group. Onward, no matter what, ask to join, and as long as you have something on your page that says you're related to Avon, then one thing's for sure, we're going to let you in the group. We are a group who strives to uplift all Avon representatives, put great ideas out there. We have fun. We love what we do. We are a big Avon family, and I think that it might even make a difference in your life from time to time. We also have open conference calls that we are now doing every single Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with my husband Lee and I, touching base on how to grow your business and how to be better in your life and how just to figure out where does this all fit in? Where can Avon fit in to make you a better person, to touch people's lives? Because isn't that what it's about? And what better way to think you can make money, have fun, and change people's lives every single day? Because this place called Avon, it certainly has changed my life, and it continues to every single day. Always a surprise of another person touching my life, another customer touching my life, another representative who maybe I've been able to touch and inspire, who was going to quit, but suddenly they have a little bit more help than what they thought they had before. So join us, and be a success in Avon, because that's what it's all about. So over and out, and until then, onward, no matter what. There's no quitting. You're going to fall down. You're going to scuff your knees up. It's okay, because as long as you get back up and you give it another try, you're going to win this. You're going to show all those people who think that you're foolish, you're going to show them that this can work, and this is going to be what you're successful in your life. So until next time, I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.